What's up, guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. So far, the roster reviews have been coming in massively. Let's just put it that way. I have probably 150 to 200 to do, so please bear with me through this. Now, I've talked about the Patreon thing, and listen, I've got quite a few subscribers already, and it's actually amazing. Here's the deal, because a few people have asked, do you have to be a subscriber to Patreon to get a roster review? No, absolutely not. I will eventually get to you. It's just going to take some time. Will you get moved to the front of the line and get a roster review quicker if you do subscribe to Patreon? Yes, you will, but I do not expect that at all. I'm just trying to help you guys as a community, and any help in return is wonderful from you guys, so I really appreciate that. So we're going to get right into another review today. And let's see, I got to get the ally code put in here. Let me move my mic here for a second. Now, some people have said in a few of the comments, go over the roster before you actually look at the video. I might start doing that, but I actually enjoy looking at it for the first time, giving my just, straight opinion right away, because usually my gut feeling, what's off the top of my head is usually what's correct. Now, this person did not provide any notes, which is okay. Most of you have actually messaged me again, if you did message me before, and have said, hey, here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I want to get to. And a majority of the people, when I do these videos, I'm always going to be looking at, are you ready for Arena and Fleet Arena and Squad Arena? How are your teams for the Heroic Sith Raid and raids in general? And what about Territory Wars and Grand Arena? And by the way, this new Territory Wars thing they're doing, why are we fixing something that isn't broken? Let's ban characters or whatever, not be able to play with certain characters. So you're meaning to tell me that all of the equipment and Zetas that I've spent my whole time playing this game and put into characters, I just can't use because we're not going to use them. We're going to use Tusken Raiders instead, or we're like at 4 stars, level 10? Come on. Territory Wars and Grand Arena are awesome in my opinion, especially Territory Wars. Don't change things up. When we had the bonuses where they say, hey, Clone Troopers or Mace Windu or Jango Fett gets a certain bonus, that was so much fun. Keep doing that. Don't change it at all. Anyway, let's look at his Fleet Arena first. And it says that he is able to get 182 in Fleet Arena, and we're going to see if we can get him to climb at all here by looking at his roster. He does have Kylo Ren and Mass. Sorry, I have to go back quick here again. And he doesn't use him. Okay, he uses the TIE Advanced, TIE Fighter, and TIE Silencer with a Tarkin lead. First things first, I will tell you to do this right now if you have the capability here, buddy. Get Bosk to level 85 to gear 8 if you can. And then put the Houndstooth in at 3 stars. It's going to help you so much. Because the team I would suggest using is the team that I use, is the TIE Advanced, Houndstooth, TIE Silencer. But let's say you can't get the Houndstooth leveled up right away. Put in the TIE Silencer for the Imperial TIE Fighter, and then start with Biggs. Now, maybe you are doing it where the TIE Silencer comes in as a reinforcement, which it might, and you can still do that. If you really want to climb high in... Oh, yeah, you have Bull Zetas on him. I'm guessing you use him in Fleet Arena probably just as a reinforcement. Definitely work on that Houndstooth and Bosk, because it's single-handedly going to raise you 100 to 150 spots just by having that character. Let's scroll down here. You don't have Thrawn yet. Okay, definitely something we should be working towards. This is a newer person in the game. 1.3 million Galactic Power, and let's see. Thrawn is definitely something we're going to talk about and strive for. You're using the Executrix. That's good. You have most of these leveled up quite a bit, because when you want to get to Ultimate Firepower, especially at your place in Fleet Arena, if you can get to Ultimate Firepower, the match can pretty much end. And so you want to be able to survive by having the Houndstooth in there, maybe bringing in Slave 1 as a reinforcement, which I'm guessing you do, so he can taunt. But the Houndstooth is going to allow you to let the battle last longer and to do more damage to the other team. That's what the whole, arena is about, basically. But I'm telling you, put some resources to be able to get more crystals. You need to place higher in Fleet Arena, and those extra crystals help a lot. To do that, you're going to want to invest in one character and one ship right now for that, and that's the Houndstooth and Bosk. So please do that, and Bosk is going to be useful for other areas. So as a beginner right here working on this, farm the Houndstooth. And then we will probably look at, now here is his roster. Let's take a look here. First, we're going to see if he has any of the Hero's Journey characters and then the legendary characters. He has CLS. Very good. Let's just scroll down to Resistance and see if he has any... Oops, if he has Jedi Training Ray. I don't see it there at the top of my head, but I like to double check by going in here. He does not have Jedi Training Ray yet. That's okay. And then I'm guessing he doesn't have Revan, obviously, but we're just looking at that. But he has a very solid Jedi team. Well done. Okay. So we're going to go back and look. Give a quick looky here. He has Kyle. He obviously likes First Order. That's why, hey, I'm doing a how to mod video on First Order team eventually here. And I'm still learning that myself because I'm not a First Order expert by any means. But he does have Han Solo. He does have General Kenobi. So that means he's in a guild that's doing... If they're able to complete those raids, I wonder how much they can do in the Heroic Sith raid. So let's just go faction by faction here like I do in the other videos. Let's look at the Bounty Hunters. Now, again, this is about prioritization. Where you're at in the game. In my opinion, most people want to be able to get higher in Squad Arena and Fleet Arena before they can do everything else. So I'm going to be looking at these characters in your roster saying, here's who I think you should farm to place higher in Squad Arena first. Why? Because that's how you get more crystals. More crystals, you can get more energy. More energy, you can farm more characters throughout the game. It's a crystal-based game, and the easiest way to get those is to be able to place higher in the arenas. So your Bounty Hunters here, the top two Bounty Hunters you have leveled up are Boba Fett and IG-88. Again, these characters are going to be needed to get Chewie. Probably not a top priority at the moment. Some of these guys should maybe farm along the way. The only top priority right now in this entire faction is Bossk. You want to be farming Bossk. And then, unfortunately, to get the Houndstooth, the other node that involves is Jango Fett. You're going to get Jango Fett and the Houndstooth on the same node, which is a good thing. But to be able to farm Bossk and the Houndstooth, you're going to have to farm each of them from a separate node. And those are the two characters in Bounty Hunters, the two places right now I think you should be focusing on getting Bossk, gearing him up, starring him up, and then farming Jango Fett because you're also getting the Houndstooth in that node. Very important. That's what you should be going with Bounty Hunters. And the other ones, level up as needed. Is Greedo a great character? Yes, he's a great character. He can be great in a Chex Mix team and does lots of damage, but probably not a priority right now. Now we'll look at Clone Troopers. Wow, nice job on Rex. Gear 12, one Gear 12 piece. Again, clones aren't very important right now. They might be later, but, hold off on these guys. It's not a priority. Your droids, you have R2 with both Zetas. Very well done. And you have BB-8. You obviously had a First Order team, so you have BB-8. Very good. Eventually, you're going to want to level him up. If we're looking at the droids, who are the droids I think you should take care of is building up a Resistance team for the Heroic Sith Raid and Territory Wars and Grand Arena. You're going to want to Zeta roll with the punches eventually, but I'm going to look at your whole roster and tell you who I think you should Zeta right now as is. BB-8 probably isn't the most important to Zeta right now because you're looking to progress in Arena. Let's look at the Empire characters. Vader, Palpatine, Tarkin, TIE Fighter Pilot. You have Thrawn, which means you have Phoenix, which means do you have now? I got it quick. Sorry for losing my spot here. I'm going to go back to the inventory and see if you have the Ghost and the Phantom. You do not have the Ghost and the Phantom yet, it appears. That is a major, major thing right now because Thrawn's ship is amazing, and those are two good ships. Again, I think Houndstooth is your first priority, but be farming the Ghost and the Phantom as secondary priorities here in Fleet Arena because Grand Admiral Thrawn is amazing. And even though you can use Tarkin like you do in some other capital ships, I think it's something to definitely look at. So we're going to go back into the inventory now as we take a look at this. And we were at Empire. So yeah, Thrawn, Shore Trooper. Let's say you want to work on an Imperial Troopers team, which is good for Grand Arena and Territory Wars. Again, not a top priority for you right now because you're looking to just grow in the game, probably in Arena and Squad Arena. If you have Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, which is great. So you have two very solid Empire characters, and you have Thrawn to 7 stars. If you were going to focus on other Empire characters right now, I would probably focus on General Veers, Colonel Stark, Death Trooper, Snow Trooper, or Range Trooper. Range Trooper he's kind of a cult following, by the way. A lot of people love him. That's a great Imperial Troopers team, can help you in all aspects of the game. And Shore Trooper, you farmed a little bit, and keep that up because he's a good tank as well. So your Empire is actually sitting pretty well for where you're at with your Galactic Power right now. Ewoks, for 1.3 million Galactic Power, Is your absolute objective right now to get C-3PO? No, it probably shouldn't be, because he's not going to completely redefine the game for you. So slowly farm the Ewoks up as you want, maybe throughout time, to get them to 7-star to get 3PO, or to 5-star to get him at 5 stars. But I see you've been farming them a little bit, obviously, so you can keep that up, but again, not a top priority. First Order. You know what you're doing with First Order much more than I do, so I'm really not going to critique this as much. I'm guessing the one character that you would rather have in there is you'd want to take out First Order TIE Pilot for First Order Executioner. The other day I did a video, and I said, hey, maybe take out First Order Officer. Now, I am not a First Order expert, so a lot of people corrected me saying, hey, no, he kind of is the lifeblood of that. First Order Officer is when you use Executioner, because he's going to be giving him a bunch of turns. So you'll probably want to take out the First Order TIE Pilot eventually and put in First Order Executioner. But you have him Zated, so as a 5-person First Order team, this is probably a pretty darn solid team, and this will help you in Grand Arena, Territory Wars, and in certain aspects of the raids. They're not great raid teams, but they're good in other aspects of the game. So well done with First Order. I can tell you were a fan of them. Let's look at your Galactic Republic. You have Yoda. Excellent. He's part of your arena team. And you have him Zated. Do you have his battle meditation Zated? Yes, you do. Well done. And you have both Zetas and R2. These are probably the two most important characters right now to have Zated in the Galactic Republic faction. You have General Kenobi, full gear 12. Excellent. Sorry, my alarm went off there for some reason. Excellent. And you have Rex. Great character. So right now, with where you're at sitting in this situation, well done with your Galactic Republic characters. Let's go down and look at the Geonosians. Again, not nearly important unless you're going to use them for the fleet arena, which I advise you not to right now because I think the meta is going to change quickly. Keep getting the Houndstooth work on that, and if Geonosians become reworked or work good in Territory Wars and Grand Arena, maybe start focusing on them, but not a priority whatsoever. We went over the Imperial Troopers. Jawas, wow, nice job. You have all the Jawas to 7 stars. Excellent, and at level 70. This is actually a team, I think, that in Grand Arena and Territory War, eventually, with all the slots you have to fill, will probably become very utilizable, is that a word? And able to help you compete in areas that other people can't because it's diversity, especially if they do the Territory War changes. Your Jedi. Let's see, the arena team you run is obviously Bastila Shan with her leadership Zated. Excellent job. General Kenobi, Ezra with the Zeta. Very pleased with that. Grandmaster Yoda with the Zeta, and then Jolie with the Zeta as well. You have to be doing well with this team. If you're not running this team in arena, let's quick back out and check that if you are or not. I looked in quick. Okay, you have them at 219 right now. I'm telling you, if you replace, depending on where your shard is at, if you replace Raid Han with Jolie right now, I think you will raise in the ranks significantly. Maybe you've tried that and it hasn't worked, but in my opinion, even at 3 stars, put Jolie in there for Raid Han and watch your numbers grow significantly. We're going to go back to the Jedi here. Because you already have him Zated. Otherwise, for where you're at, you have Kanan at 7 stars, probably the most important. And Juhani, you'll probably want to farm when she comes out, but again, not a priority. Let's look at your Night Sisters. For where you're at, your Night Sisters are probably going to be undergeared and understarred, which is understandable. These are, for right now, your job is to get higher in arena to get more crystals. That's my personal opinion. So is farming Night Sisters an absolute necessity at this moment? No. Will they help you in Grand Arena and Territory War? Absolutely. Will they help you in the Heroic Sith raid and all the other raids? Absolutely. They can completely redefine your team. But it takes a long time to farm, Zeta, gear, and level up these characters. And with where you're at right now, I would hold off. They are probably in the top 5 of your priorities to do. But you have Ventress at 7 stars, which is excellent. So now I'd probably focus on Talzin and Night Sister Zombie next. And then slowly work your way, progress up with them. They are a faction you should have. And some people will probably argue with me saying that, hey, no, you should, farm them right now. In my opinion, no, you want to work on getting your squad arena teams up there higher and then come to them. Your Old Republic characters, which is, in my opinion, the most important, because if you have Revan, you can redefine the game even with your Galactic Power. You're working on Bastila, you're working on Jolie, you're working on Mission, you're working on Zalbar, I can see. Now you're going to want to start farming T3 as well. When Bastila, Shan, Fallen, Canderous, Karth, and Juhani come out, you're obviously going to want to attempt to farm them. But with the limited resources you have, being, newer to the game, you're probably still going to want to focus on the original 5, Bastila, Jolie, Mission, Zalbar, and T3, because getting Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, is more important. So probably one of your top priorities right now is going to be farming these Old Republic characters for the next time Revan comes around, because he's going to greatly help you increase in the game. So if you're thinking, what should I absolutely start doing? And it appears that you're almost already doing it. Slowly start farming these characters to unlock Revan, and that's going to help you tremendously. Phoenix, again, great faction. Looks like you have them at level 85. Sabine's only a 5-star. Oh, well, you can slowly level her up. It wouldn't be something I'd be worried about right now, because you have 5 solid Phoenix characters that you can use in aspects of the game. You already have Thrawn to 7 stars, and you have Ezra, which you use. So well done with Phoenix. I'm guessing when you first started the game, you knew to start farming them and use them in the game. Now we'll look at Rebels. You have CLS. Very well done. 2 Zetas on him. You have R2-D2, you have Ezra, you have Raid Han. Those are your top 3 Rebels right there in the game, besides Chewie, who you don't have. So very well done with that. Your Rebel squad, for where you're at in the game, is good. I'm just looking through the rest here. Chirrut is somebody you might want to eventually level up. You have Fulcrum to 7 stars, and maybe unlock Baze, but not a priority. Right now, if you had Chewie, you could probably you could throw him in, and he'd be your arena team, and you'd be able to climb closer to the top of arena if you had Chewie. Which is why, if you want to work towards him, you can put your bounty hunters first. I would suggest working towards Revan. Now let's look at your resistance team. Okay, you have BB-8, you have Scavenger Rey. You want to get her to 7 stars. And what you're going to want to do is eventually get Jedi Training Rey. I'm going to quick go look at your smugglers to see where you're at with, let's see, are they in Scoundrels? Vet Han and Vet Chewie. The vets. Okay, so you don't have the vets farmed much at all. That is something I would also focus on, because even though, let's put it this way, Jedi Training Rey is great for raids. She's great for Grand Arena and Territory War. She's very important in that instance. Is she dominant in Arena right now? No, but if you have her with a 3PO team, there are certain teams that can go nuts. But definitely when diversifying your energy expenditure, you're probably going to start farming those vets, because then you'll get BB-8, you'll get Scavenger Rey leveled up, you'll get Jedi Training Rey, and then you'll want to start farming Resistance Trooper as well. That's going to help you do much better in the Heroic Sith raid as well. I really preach to people, farm these Resistance teams, because it's going to help you get higher scores in the raid. Like I said, they're good on offense in Grand Arena and Territory Wars, and she's a hero's journey character, so you probably want to be farming those vets along with the Old Republic characters right now to help progress forward. Scoundrels, let's take a look at them. You have Han, you have Boba, you have Stormtrooper Han, Lando. Scoundrels are definitely not a group of people I would focus on right now, if I were you, unless they're needed to get a character like the Smugglers or Vet Han, Vet Chewie. Emphas Nest is the one I would say maybe start farming up there, because she's very viable at 3 stars. If you have some energy you want to spend, Emphas Nest is great in Grand Arena and Territory War, because on offense she can take out teams single-handedly, and she's the scoundrel I would probably focus on if I were you. You have the other ones mostly done there, so well done on that. Emphas Nest would be the scoundrel you should work on. Separatist, not an important faction, probably will get a rework at some point in time, so for where you're at, well done. You have B2 Super Battle Droid at 7 stars, and he could be a very good character. Sith, let's take a look at your Sith. Excellent. You have Vader, Palpatine, Maul, Nihilus to 7 stars. Those are great characters right there. If you're going to start farming another character to help you progress in the game, I would say it's Darth Sion. Do I think Darth Sion is your top priority right now? No, I don't. Reason being, he's not very useful in raids. Yes, he's good in Arena with the Darth Traya team, and they're part of the meta, but they're going to phase out slowly, I think. You have Jedi Knight Revan leads, you have some CLS leads, there's Traya leads, but I probably wouldn't focus on Sion right now if I were you. Yes, he'll help in Grand Arena and Territory Wars because of the Sith team he can be a part of, and once you get Traya, you're going to want to work on him, but not a priority in my opinion. Work on those other characters. And then we will go to Tuskens to see how they are. You have 2 Tuskens. Nah, not meta at all. So you have 1.36 million galactic power. And about where you're at, you have some pretty good characters for that Galactic Power. You have CLS, you have R2, you have Grandmaster Yoda, you have teams that can help define the meta. To really progress forward in the game, you're going to need Jedi Training Rey and Jedi Knight Revan. I know a lot of people have probably told you that, but when you get those characters, that's going to help you. Of course, people, get Darth Traya. To get Darth Traya, you have to get all those other characters first to be able to be dominant in the raids. So, in my opinion, your first priority should be working on those Old Republic characters, while also maintaining your arena team, which you do a pretty good job of. Getting that Bastila to gear 12 when you get her to 7 stars. Keeping good mods on them, which I'm going to go over here in a second. But to progress further in the game, the legendary characters and the hero's journey characters are the most important in my opinion, and that's why I'm telling you to focus on the vets, focus on the Old Republic characters, and then of course have fun with the game. If you want to start farming Night Sisters right now, go right ahead. They're going to help you in many aspects of the game. They're just not going to help you climb an arena right now. They could, but they're not going to do very well on defense. And the biggest thing, in my opinion, is getting those extra crystals to be able to get more energy, to be able to farm more people more frequently. If that's not where you're looking to expand in the game, which is Squad Arena, and you're looking for Territory Wars in the Heroic Sith Raid, probably start farming Night Sisters right away. But for the arenas, like I said, Bosk and Houndstooth, definitely somebody you should look at, start farming right away. The Old Republic characters and the vets. You're maybe working on this already. That's just, in my opinion, a good direction for you. Now let's actually look at your mods, because modding can be huge. You have a solid arena team here. You have a Bastila lead. So we're going to look at, okay, you have a speed of 209. You have crit damage of 186. Some health protection. I'm not looking for her damage. And 9.99% potency. Not as important with her. I have potency on her. But let's look at your mods. So you have a speed set. And I'm just going to look at the speed secondaries right now, because that's going to make the huge difference with somebody at your position. 5 speed in the secondary there. 11 speed in the secondary there. Well done. 14 speed in the secondary there. Well done. You have tenacity here. Tenacity is meaningless in this spot, in my opinion. She's, as a leader, she is gaining so much tenacity herself, bonus tenacity, that this mod is actually doing nothing. I can see the one reason you would have this mod on her. It's because it's a speed mod, and it's because it has 9 speed in the secondary. And that's important. If you have the capability to switch this out at all to a offensive mod, basically any mod will work, but tenacity, because it's just not needed, go ahead. But I can understand if you need that in there because of the speed. Very understandable. That's the most important. Now we'll look at the arrow. It's a crit damage mod. Pretty decent with plus 8 speed. Well done. And then you have plus 30 speed here in the arrow. Did I say arrow when I meant to say triangle right here? This is the triangle. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. This is the arrow. So actually pretty decently modded. So now we'll look at the other characters here. Ezra. Oh, you even have a few mods or a mod to gear 12. Very well done. Or gear 12. 6 dots. Wow. Can I not speak today? You have a crit damage and a crit chance set on him. A speed of 237. Excellent. A crit damage of 180. Let's see here. Okay, so you have extra crit chance there in the primary of the triangle. But I can see this probably because you have plus 15 speed in the secondaries. Preferably you'd want this to be a crit damage mod, but I see what you're doing. It's boosting your crit chance, and it's giving you that a bunch of extra speed, so I can't complain there. Let's see. 26, a crit chance of 55.7. That's going to go up when Bastila spreads her battle meditation around and her ability. Let me look at the rest here. Plus 8 speed in the secondary of the square. Plus 15 speed. Very good. Plus 16 speed in the circle. Okay, this mod is not useful whatsoever for Ezra. Now, I'll explain why I know you're using it. One, it's a crit chance mod, and that's going to get you a crit chance bonus if you have another one. 2, you have plus 10 speed, but the potency does nothing for Ezra. It's meaningless. He never inflicts any debuffs. Most likely, you're going to, actually, pretty much all the time, it's going to be better to have an offensive mod in this spot somewhere. With Bastila and her ability to, I'm going to just go back to Bastila and show you why I think you should change this up on Ezra. Bastila's ability, Rally, gives critical chance up to everybody else. When you give it to Grandmaster Yoda, he spreads it around and Ezra's going to get it. So if you have to sacrifice a crit chance set with Ezra to make sure this is an offensive mod, and you're not going to get, you won't get that, if you're not able to get that crit chance bonus by the set bonus, don't worry about that right now, because you're going to get the rally buff from Bastila is going to spread crit chance up. That's going to take care of having this bonus with this crit chance set, and then the potency, because 24% potency is just a waste. Like I said, it's not needed. So try to find a primary stat there that's offense. Doesn't matter what the mod is. If you don't have a complete set bonus, that's understandable. And I can see it has plus 10 speed, which is pretty good. So if you don't have any higher speed, for the speed you have them right now, which is pretty high, I would probably, this mod I would definitely get rid of and put an offensive primary somewhere. We looked at this. You have plus 15 speed in the secondary here with a crit chance primary. Again, I prefer crit damage, but you're looking at that plus 15 speed. Can't go wrong with that. Well done. And then you have a plus 30 speed here in the arrow. So Ezra, decently modded. I think you can do better. I understand why you did it, because you want that crit chance set bonus. But again, that crit chance set bonus isn't going to outweigh, in my opinion, having offense in that primary of that arrow there, because he's going to be getting buffs from Grandmaster Yoda, Bastila, etc. Always remember who your characters are with when you're using them. Now we'll look at General Kenobi. Good, you have a health set on him here. Let's look at his health and protection. Nice, 87,000 to 37,000. For where you're at, that's decently high. And does his damage matter? No, in my opinion, it doesn't matter at all. Of course, you want him to do some damage, but he's there to take hits. That's his job. His speed is 176. Again, my Kenobi isn't even that fast. My Kenobi's like 150. Some people play him with speed, some people don't. I have him with Gear 12 mods, and I have like 150,000 combined total health and protection on him. So we will take a look at the mods here. Plus 4% offense. Again, if you can, make this a 5-dot mod. Big difference between 4 and 5-dot. Luckily, it's only offense, and like I said, I don't find it as important with him. Try to get a 5-dot on there. You have the plus 10 speed, which is why I see you did it. In the secondary stats here, you're wanting the defensive stats. Just as with Ezra, you're going to want to have offensive stats in the secondaries, critical chance, offense, speed, stuff like that. You're going to want defensive secondary stats, protection, health, tenacity in the secondaries here. I see you have a plus 10 speed. You have a plus 12 speed here in the secondary stat it's a health mod with a defense primary. That's pretty decent. 12 speed's pretty good for that. You have a protection in the primary, which is what I run with plus 9 speed. Have some extra defense there. Protection in the primary of the cross with plus 8 speed. Well done. Protection in the primary of the triangle with plus 6 speed. Well done. And then protection in the arrow as well. That's what I do as well. Nicely done. Here's something you can figure out by yourself. Through a lot of experimentation, I determined that my Kenobi, I don't worry about any speed whatsoever. So if I had a mod, let's look at this mod right here. And I had secondary stats of plus 1,000 protection, plus like 5% protection, plus 2% defense, and plus 5 or 50 health. And I didn't have any speed whatsoever. I'm going to put that mod on him because of all of the extra defensive stat boosts than just the speed. Because he's there to take damage, and I can always, swap turn meter with him at times. Well, that's if you use Revan and stuff like that. But again, I don't find the speed as important with him. With Bastila, it might be. And again, always change this mod to a health mod if possible. I see the reason it's probably the only protection mod you have in the primary. But that health set bonus of an extra 10% that you're going to get is going to help tremendously. So, decently modded Kenobi there. Now we will look at Raid Han. And you have a crit damage and crit chance set on him. And you have him Zetaed. Well done. Let's look at his speed. Speed is 219. Excellent. Again, it's probably not as important with him because he shoots first. But I have mine on pretty high speed too. 216% crit damage. Very good. And a damage of 2605, your crit chance, well done, 6539. And again, he's going to be able to get that crit chance bonus from Bastila when she uses Rally and spreads it from Grandmaster Yoda. So he's going to be critting all the time as well. Let's see, plus 13 speed. I'm just looking at the speed right now. Plus 14 speed, plus 11 speed. Okay, preferably. I know you're doing it to get the set bonus, and that's okay. Stay with what you like. If you could find an offensive primary stat mod here, go with that. What I mean by that is you still want to have a crit damage set somehow, but take out one of the crit chance sets if you have to, and find a way to get a primary stat of offense in the cross here. And then if you have one crit chance mod and one health mod and don't have a complete set, that's understandable. I think that offense is important. Then you have crit damage here in the triangle with plus 10 speed, nicely done, and then plus 30 speed in the arrow with for a primary stat. Well done. I see what you're doing with the set bonuses. That's big, but also remember to not throw away stats like this when, you know, if you weren't running anybody, Han can give himself crit chance up too, by the way. If you weren't running him in a group where he was able to get crit chance up, where usually when you run Han Solo, he always is, because he has the ability to give himself crit chance up, you maybe want to really make sure you do a crit chance set bonus, but in my opinion, it's just not as important because he's going to be able to get crit chance up. Nicely done. And then we'll look at Grandmaster Yoda. Oh, awesome. You have an offensive set and a crit chance set on him. What is his speed? Speed is 259. His offense, we're looking at special offense, 5263. Nicely done. Plus 7 speed, but it's an offensive mod. Plus 15 speed. Nice. Has that. You're also going to want some offense and crit chance in the secondaries as well for the offensive characters, just like you would with Raid Han. Plus 24 speed in the secondary of the circle. 6 dotted. Golf clap for that. Well done. Then we will look at the cross. So here's the thing with the cross again. I know you're doing this to get an offensive set bonus. Again, tenacity is not important under a Bastila lead, and even under a Revan lead, which you usually use him. And even when you have him as a leader, tenacity is not important. So try to find offense as a primary stat in this cross. That's going to help you tremendously. And the set bonus you're always going to want to get rid of in these cases is the crit chance set bonus. The offensive set bonus is huge. You don't want to run yourself out of having an offensive set bonus. In my opinion, and I've done a ton of modding, it's the crit chance set bonus that you're able to get rid of because of all the stats and boosts you're going to be gaining from the other characters. So try to get that to be an offensive primary stat mod. Protection in the primary stat here, I can see the reason you're doing it is because of the plus 18 speed. Definitely going to want crit damage in this primary stat for Grandmaster Yoda. It's going to raise his damage substantially. Again, I see why you're doing it. It's an offensive mod with plus 18 speed, but the protection, Yoda is there to deal damage. So try to farm some mods for that reason. And then you have a good crit chance mod with speed in the primary. So those are your 5 characters right there, Zeta on your arena team. And if I were you right now, what are some things I would start doing when working with mods? I would start farming more mods. I would start farming offensive mods, crit damage mods, and speed mods right now. Split those up, 2 a week, and then one of the other days, farm a health mod if you want. Because the more mods you have to level up, the more availability you're going to have in the sense that you're going to be able to find a mod that has an offensive mod that has an offensive primary stat in the cross. And that's what's going to help you increase greater in the game. Because your mods right now, I'm going to give you about a B-. I know for where you're at, it's probably tricky. Modding can be hard, but this is just my advice. You know what you're doing. Let's get that right. So I'm not throwing you under the bus. I just think it can get better. So as a team overall, when you have a 1.3 million galactic power, with that low of galactic power, I got to give you like a B+. I want to know your other guys' opinions in the comment section below. Do you think I rated it too high? Do you think I rated it too low? Obviously, he's just started recently. And the thing is, with the roster that you have, Adolfo, Montoya, I think you could be placing higher in Arena. I definitely do. With the team that you have and replacing Han with Jolie eventually, I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to do that. So that is something to look forward to. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the subscribe button, like the video, click the notification bell so you can be alerted to all videos that I post. Also, leave comments in the comment section below. Do you agree with what I talked about? Do you disagree with what I talked about? What can I do better? And leave video ideas as well, because that always keeps me going. And then I'm putting a link to my Discord server and Patreon page in the description below. If you want to have a roster review, please go check out my Discord server and direct message me saying, hey, here's my ally code. Here's what I want you to look at. I will eventually get to it. And then Another thing I want to talk about, which I'll probably bring up in the next video, is somebody asked me to log into their account, mod their teams for them, and then they would pay me for doing that. I know a few people that do that, and it sounds like a wonderful idea. I'm sort of skeptical about it because of, I don't know, I want to say the liability that's placed and what bad things could happen. But we can talk about that somewhere else. Somebody brought it up, and it's an idea I'm thinking about. Otherwise, peace out, and may the force be with you.